their weary sides, the swirling eddies where the river swept, and to every last mosquito and stonefly and even my shadow, I wished I could talk to every person I've ever loved, and every past version of myself, gawky or uncertain. I wanted to reach my voice to all these things and people and let them know finally my heart is entirely open. I wanted to write them all letters on paper or stone or sand or whatever and address every beautiful face I saw in them. But I was sitting very still and had already given my body to the riverbank, and most of my mind and my voice had seeped into the sandy hollows between my feet, and I could only manage to breathe a small whisper. I don't know if it was shaped like a word or if it sounded beautiful, but I think the creatures of my heart heard on the wind or through the trees or even over the cries of a city night, and it must have sounded close and small and somewhat soothing. Here are a couple of haikus that I like to write haikus, especially when I'm taking public transit. If everyone lived each day like they were dying, like it was their last, each day would be full of tears, heartfelt confessions, I'd be exhausted. Instead, they should live like they are on vacation. They'd soak it all in, they'd see sights and ask for pretty girls' numbers, bemoan laziness, and realize that days are passing, time fleeting, and they wouldn't let small things slip away, at least not without taking a picture or two.
Woo!
Why are people so scared to go places alone? Afraid of strangers, of themselves? Afraid of their voices echoing through cavernous skulls? I quite like it. No theatrics. No one to please except yourself. And this is the last one. This is my ode to the road. This is my ode to the road. Without it, I'd be lost. And it's true that sometimes I like to be tossed around without the faintest sense of knowing exactly which direction I'm going. And yes, it's nice to see the world unfold like a map without markings and without being told how to read it or how to hold it. I like the feeling of rocks in my shoes as I stare down the sun, singing railroad blues, and walking towards that point where tracks meet sky and rejoicing that I don't have to comply with the path of another, and I don't have to follow the footsteps of my father or mother. I like the feeling of weeds scratching my ankles, or when my skin is burned and my hair is in tangles. It's true, we all like to be wild and free. And yeah, I want to think I've been blazing this trail just for me, and so sometimes I'm too proud to admit that I don't know the way, or that it gets to me at the end of the day when I curl up again next to strangers in an unknown place, on a hard ground, unaware of what dangers might be waiting for me. And yeah, I want to move ahead. I want to go places in life without being led there. And I get restless sitting in one place too long, reading the same books and singing the same songs. And I kind of want to explore like a child, unrestricted and unbridled. But out there on my own, I'm amazed sometimes by how alone I can feel in a field of wildflowers, or laying on my back watching meteor showers. Surrounded by nothing but rocks and grass and stars, it starts feeling pretty far from that place I call home. And suddenly I don't want to keep roaming from place to unfamiliar place. I just long for a sea of loving faces. And so I'm thankful for the road. Because no matter how far I've taken it, it always goes back to where I found it. And when I get restless again, it'll still be there, unbounded. It's not going anywhere, even though I might be. And this road, it gives me a sense of stability when I'm tired of blowing around like a dried leaf and need to remember where my roots are set and my branches reach. So this is my ode to the road, because without it I'd be lost.